With the lack of movie theaters, public pools, bowling alleys, and even putt-putt golf courses, we've often heard there's nothing to do in Grant County. What can the county do to help attract or encourage businesses like these to come to our area? And what do you think is the major stumbling block that is keeping them from coming in the first place?
Well, I think right now, I hate to say this, but the economy's hurting us more than anything. But when times do get good again, I'd like to see something come here, but you have to give them incentives. And the only thing I can think of for privatization is to give tax incentives. Now, as a foreign business owner, that kind of scares me a little bit, because nobody gave me any tax incentives, didn't give my father tax incentives, didn't give any other business tax incentives. But if it's a big enough company and it's good for the county, we ought to look at it. I think we do a study on it. As far as the putt-putt goes, I had an idea, and I thought maybe that, that's not expensive to get together a putt-putt course. Maybe we could do one in the north end, south end of the county, and maybe have a religious-based type, like one of the churches, to be, say you're over this one, you're over this one, and maybe they can make some money from it. It won't be great monies. Our Northern Kentucky students do it. I think it would be great, but I don't know whether the kids, well, maybe adults would really like putt-putt. I don't know. I know you threw that out, but over in the park over at Carrollton, they've got a putt-putt course, and there's never anybody playing. But that's neither here nor there. If we think we need it, maybe we could do it that way. Now, you look at the bowling alleys, that's an expensive venture. And you look at swimming pools, that's this high maintenance. We do not want to get into another jail thing here. We don't want to subsidize that. So if we're going to do something like that, the county, we need to look at it hard. We need to study it and make sure down the road 20 years what kind of expenses we're going to have and if we're going to have to subsidize it. That is something we don't want again. With the landfill maybe leaving us, and I don't know how many monies we're getting from them right now, but trust me, I would like to see those monies going into it for recreation and maybe help the fire department. My wife was on the 109 board, Teresa Wood. She never did know where the monies went to. I'm sure they went to the general fund. But I think that it's something that we may not be able to count on here in a few years. If I get in as judge executive, I'm sure we're going to look at that and see how badly that's going to hurt us. So in other words, I think we really need to watch what we do. Be careful. Let's don't have another albatross around our necks like the jail is.
In the current budget, $125,000 is divided evenly amongst the 5 fire departments within the county. That's in order to provide fire protection to the rural areas. What are your thoughts on the fact that the departments get the same amount, $25,000, regardless of the number of times that they respond?
I met with the firefighters the other night, and it amazes me that the compassion they have for their jobs. They don't even get paid. They're actually heroes. They're people that we really need for our security and so forth, especially the ambulance service, which right now is like rural metro. And I look at them, and your heart goes out to them. How much money do we have? I don't know. But I have heard that rural metro may not come back after their contract ends next year. That's going to be a real dilemma. And I'd have to look at that. But I know Dry Ridge and Williamstown are doing some of that stuff. But that would be a real added expense to our budget. And I don't know how much. I think rural comes here for free, if I'm not mistaken. But I do know that if we do run in the county here, I have been told, and I think it's pretty accurate, that half of the fees you charge are never collected because people can't afford it. So we really have to look at that hard. Now, back to the runs. See, Jonesville and Crittenden are totally different. I think Crittenden runs about 600 runs a year. Jonesville runs about 100. But Crittenden gets money from the city. Williamstown gives the Williamstown Fire Department $164,000 a year on top of the $25,000. Jonesville is not an incorporated city, so they don't get funds. Now, they do get $42,000 from Wayne County, which is good. So it's a tough decision because you don't want to be unfair, but yet if somebody makes 600 runs and somebody makes 100 runs, that's a big overhead. So what I would propose to do is, if I get in, is to meet with the chiefs, the fire chiefs, and have a great communication on what we can do or not. I do think it probably should be that we should give the ones that make so many runs ratio-wise a little more money. But on the other hand, I don't want to shortchange Corinth and Jonesville because they are taxpayers and they are people that need to be protected too. But I'm also hoping, and I think the way they do, they overlap a lot, like if drivers would come over to Jonesville, help them and so forth. But I think the best lines of communication, the best way to handle that is to sit down with the chiefs and talk intelligently about what we can or can't do money-wise. If we don't have the money, let's be honest, we can't do it. But if they need it, we got the money, and it won't hurt us, let's do it. Because I would like to help them if I could.
What do you see as the number one need for Grant County over the next 4 years, and what needs to be done in order to fulfill that?
This will probably surprise you, but I'm thinking maybe after talking to the Firefighters Association, I think the EMT is something that's going to be, if they pull out, it's going to be a number one. But the other things that I would like to talk about is, I think jobs is one thing. What can a judge do for jobs? Well, frankly, of course, grants and so forth, but I would love, because I think that's one of my strengths is people skills with my business experience, meet with corporations and business owners and persuade him to do that persuasive power, and it may take tax incentives. But the other thing that I want to cheat a little bit here is I think we need a fourth magistrate. We have 3 magistrates. We've had them for I don't know how many years, but here since I've been here in 1990 when I came back to the county, we've grown from 14,000 to 24,000 people or more. And I don't think that the magistrates can properly represent the people they're representing. And I don't know whether the people are calling them all the time or not, but I think that there's some people in this county that aren't getting represented. And I think their voice needs to be heard. Of course, I like for them to come to the caucus meetings and the meetings too, but sometimes you need that, well, you do need your magistrate to talk to and tell them what your problem is. That's the way I feel about that.
All right. In closing, tell our viewers why you are the candidate of choice for Grant County Judge Executive.
My theme is going to be accountability, accessibility, and transparency. I am going to put all expenses on the internet. I think that people deserve to know where their money's going. I think that if I become the CEO of Grant County, that I'm not some god or anything. I am a person that's supposed to work for you, the citizens. You will be my boss. I'm not your boss. I think that's a disconnect we have in Washington, D.C., in Frankfort, and even here in Grant County. That somehow, after you've been in for so many years, you kind of lose the aspect that, hey, wait a minute, I work for the people. And I will work for the people. I have no hidden agenda here. I'm running because I care for people, and I think it's the right thing to do. I think that we need a fresh face. I think we need new ideas. I'm not running anybody down. I just think we need a new look at the courthouse. And I have the experience. I have run a large corporation with over 40 employees, budget over $70 million. I've owned Dry Ridge Lumber Company, and I had 12 employees when I left. I had to look at all the expenses and make a profit, but I also had to work with people. You see, I don't look at this job any differently than when I owned the Dry Ridge Lumber Company. I think that I was customer service oriented. And right now, if I become a judge executive, I'm the customer service department. I think there's a huge disconnect between the mayors and the judge executive and the magistrates. I think that after talking to all the mayors, after talking to every mayor, I think they're a little frustrated because they feel like that they're not getting communication. And that's bad. And so I propose to have a meeting once a month or once every 3 months, wherever the mayors want to do. And they could meet with me, and I could meet with them, and we could alternate the locations and discuss the problems. You know, the thing that people forget about, everybody wants the government to take care of them, but the government can't take care of you unless we know what the problems are. And if the officials of the mayors and the judge aren't talking and the magistrates aren't getting together, we can't solve problems. And that's the only reason we're there. That's the only reason we're there. I'm Steve Wood. I'm asking for your vote. I know I'm doing a great job for you. I appreciate it. I'll be honest. I'll be true. You come into my office, you can talk to me anytime you want, and I will always treat you with respect. And thank you very much.
Steve Wood, the Republican candidate for Grant County Judge Executive, thanks for coming in today.